So now what we're going to do is see how to transition from an effect back to the clip itself without the effect. One way to do that is to select the razor tool and click on it and edit it. Okay, and on the first half, what we'll do is add that blur that we were talking about before. And I'm going to now go back to my select tool and turn up the blur. Okay, so it immediately cuts from the blur to the non-blur. So if I click in the middle and add a transition, now we have it slowly transition. And of course I could open that up and make the transition more pronounced. Okay, that's one way to do that, but let's erase that. Let's delete that. I'm just going to delete the front. Now, the other way to do that is to keyframe that. So let's add the blur again to the clip and turn it up. But I don't want the blur over the whole thing. In fact, I'm going to click on Repeat Edges too. So what I want to do is keyframe that. One thing is I don't get to see all of my keyframe menu. So if I change my configuration, kind of like what we did with audio, I'm going to click on Effects. Okay, so what we see here is a new window. We have the effects control panel, but we also have the keyframe controls over here. So let's say right about here, I don't want it blurry anymore. So I'm going to click on toggle animation, and it gave me a keyframe. Now what's the value of that keyframe? I want that keyframe to be 0. I don't want to have any blur at all. So I could either move my cursor to the beginning or move it up here, and I'm going to increase, maybe right about here, I'm going to increase the blurriness. And immediately, because I gave it a new value, it created a keyframe for me. So now as I transition between the two keyframes, and this arrow can go to the next keyframe or the previous keyframe, and we could see the values change. The value being 84 blurriness and the value being 0 blurriness. So I'm going to play that clip. And now if that was too fast, I could move the keyframe over and have it slower. Okay, if I wanted the blurriness to hold longer, I could move that keyframe over too. I could select both of them and move them over at the same time. And again, if I wanted to add, let's say, another keyframe, I could come over here and click the middle dot. It says add or remove keyframe. So if I do that, it's the same value as the second one. So you go, well, okay, that doesn't have much of a value, but I could use that as an anchoring keyframe and then go to a fourth keyframe and increase the blurriness again. So it holds the value of 0 for a while. So it goes from blur, holds it, and increases it again. So that's the value of having two keyframes of the same. It's sort of an anchoring keyframe before another transition happens.